Hi, everybody. It's the Me and My Boyfriend Nicole podcast. I'm Aurora.
And I'm the boyfriend, Nicole.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hi.
Or the actress afternoon.
Woo! Woo! It's been a whirlwind.
It's been fun.
It has. and we've learned some things.
Hey.
Right?
You know what? It's beautiful about life. You learn something new.
Right? Sometimes
you gotta relearn the old lesson.
you do. And sometimes you need a real fucking reality check.
And you're like, oh.
Apparently I didn't get it the first, second, or 100th time. So let's do it one more time.
Really stick it in there.
Right? And we've discussed this before. But apparently I needed to learn this lesson again.
Oh, hold on. Let's preface this. Nicole went on a date this week. That's what we're talking about.
I was leading into that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Take away all my glory. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
But it's that point where learning to trust yourself, follow your instincts, your intuition, and listen to your gut, right?
Right.
We've discussed this. I'm like, I'm good. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever my body, mind, soul, spirit, heart tells me, we're going to follow it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently not. So, we did a do-over, literally, and now we know. So, did go on a date. But let me preface that with 9 months ago, I had met a man online.
Yes.
On a dating app. I believe it was Bumble.
Probably.
And, it was. We were supposed to go out on a date, right? And, right before said date, like that morning, he sent me a picture of his new boots. I didn't really notice the boots because he had his legs stretched out, whatever, sitting down. It was literally a picture of his crotch and the boots. And there was an evident hard-on in the picture. No face, no nothing, just that picture, right? And he's like, check out my new boots or kicks or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, this was a definite, you're sending me, look at my dick. You know?
Right.
Look what you have to look forward to. And I'm like, it's a no for me, sir.
Yeah.
However, I'm not going to ghost you or whatever. I'm going to tell you, you know what? This isn't going to happen. This is not for me. I wish you the best. You know, like, no. That is, for me, that was disrespectful. But it was also a gift because I'm not wasting my time.
Right.
I'm not wasting your time. I'm not wasting my time. Ain't nothing wrong if that's what you're looking for, but we've already had a discussion. That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
Don't misunderstand. I do eventually want to have sex with someone. Some really good, so fulfilling. Ooh. Clear out the cobwebs. Let's do this shit. But, you know, I'm like, I don't just want anything. I want something that, you know, fills my mind, body, and soul, you know?
Yes.
Ooh. And we ready to fall in love. So, we waiting, right? Because we won't be messing with the wrong person and miss out on the right one, right? So I said, very politely, no thank you. Good luck. Keep swiping, right? 9 months later, ran into his ass again. We got back on Bumble, ran into again. And I knew it immediately. And I was like, oh, a dilemma. Because usually, if I already talked to somebody, we don't move them forward. It doesn't matter why it didn't work out. Whatever. Usually it's they just really don't talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, good. How are you? You know, or it's hello. And I'm like, okay, we're on Bumble. And so I initiate. But like, yo, put in something. I should have to constantly chase you to ask a question. Because it has been my experience. I have learned that however a relationship starts, that's how it continues throughout the relationship.
Absolutely.
Friends, lovers, family, whatever, right?
I 100% agree. If in the beginning you're putting in most of the work, guess what?
Yeah. And then you're going to be complaining later that you do everything. It started out that way. So we ain't chasing nobody. And we don't expect anybody to chase us.
No.
Okay, we do kind of like to be chased. But we understand, you know, it should be a mutual thing, right? So, I'm like, maybe it was an accident. I don't know, you know. And I was like,
When you swiped, did you remember that it was him that said
I knew it 100%.
Okay.
I was like, fuck it, swipe right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will say, at the time,
Mm-hmm.
this is the guy I talked about in episode 8. When the Jeff episode, or Dom.
Oh, I knew who you were talking about. You didn't have to say anything.
That might be bleeped out. But in that episode, oh shit, I totally did it the wrong way. Anyway, so ooh, take me back. But we talked about somebody that I canceled a date with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I could go out with him, and that was the person, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe I didn't give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, I was questioning myself. You know, because we all know how that other one crashed and burned, right?
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, well, let's just see, right? I doubted myself in my decision then. And didn't listen to myself. Well, guess what? Motherfucking burn. Crash and burn.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before you move on to the story, can we talk about how he changed his profile?
Well, there's that too. Okay, go ahead.
So he had to. I didn't see the original profile.
It was just a regular profile.
I assume it was normal.
Yeah,
because
just regular pictures.
Yeah.
You know, looking for stuff. It was the same pictures he had before, like him with friends and him, you know, just out, whatever. Right. And now it's said that he was like 5'8", like me. And I don't have a height problem. I've dated guys that were shorter than me, taller than me. You know, it doesn't matter.
Right. But I'm talking about the pictures he put on there.
He had just regular pictures and,
you
know, just
and
regular
then
stuff.
You logged on later to talk to him, I guess, and then you looked
a couple weeks later.
You looked on the profile again, I guess, to kind of remind yourself, like, oh, let's look at the things.
Because I was talking to you about it.
Yeah.
And I said, this is crotch guy.
Yeah. And I was like, oh,
I
really?
know, right? I was like, let me show you, like, what he looks like.
And then we looked at the pictures, and he had changed them.
He changed everything.
He had put, like, what did he say? He was a submissive?
No, he was sensual dom.
Oh, okay. He was a sensual dom looking for a submissive. Is that?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And I was like, what the fuck? And then it was like pictures. First, there was a picture of him. And no offense to anybody, but he was in TJ Maxx. It clearly said in the dressing room, TJ Maxx on the mirror, right?
No, look at the backgrounds of the pictures, people.
Dressed in like a button-down shirt and pants, right? It sets a tone. And I'm shop at TJ Maxx. I'm not saying that, but I'm like, why are you taking a picture of the dressing room?
Yeah.
You know? But whatever. And then it was pictures of like photos of, one was a massage table, and then one was like a photo or a drawing of like a woman, just her arm being handcuffed, and the man in the background, you know, and then something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
but they were sensual photos.
Yes, and definitely a 50 Shades kind of moment.
Yeah, vibe.
Right.
Yeah,
Which,
sure.
if I had originally seen that, if that had been the first thing I ever seen, I would have said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 1, I'm not submissive, and 2, it's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
And 3, I'm like, it's a little creepy.
Not the dom and submissive thing, but it's kind of like, you don't really need to put that on your profile in like that kind of way. It's like,
well, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
I'm like, let me find that out with you.
Right. Not that, I said that wrong. Not that you don't need to
for
put
just
that.
someone to fuck her.
That's not what you're looking for.
And I'm not working out anything that me personally to where I would be seeking that out.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think that'd be fun to play and stuff like that. But that's not ultimately what I'm looking for. It could be a part of something.
You're looking for an actual relationship. You're not looking just for a sex-based relationship.
No. And not that would have to be, but the way he was presenting it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I asked him about it. I was like, yo, like, we definitely are not on the same plane. You know, honestly, I hadn't really talked to him that much. We had set up a date, and then we both kind of flaked on it. Just kind of forgot. And I just kind of here and there, and he had said, like, hello to me and stuff. And I was like, yo, your profile definitely changed. And he's like, well, it was to get people's attention. Apparently it got yours. And I was like, well, no, I was just showing my friend who you are. And then I noticed that it changed, you know? And he's like, well, yeah, I've gotten like 15 responses since then. And all this stuff. So, you know, I'm just like, I've given up. If that's what women want, then I'm just going to give it to them. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, at least it started you and me talking and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So we started talking and stuff. And then he didn't realize I had given my number before. Now, whether he deleted me or what, you know, he gave me his number. And I was like, let's just try and chat. So stupid. So we started chatting. And we talked for about a week on the phone, you know, for hours. You know, just really talking. And
you enjoyed the conversations.
I did enjoy the conversations. A lot of it was a lot about him losing his business, about losing money over this last year, which I can understand. A lot of people went through that. But it was a lot about stuff. Yeah. You know? But I'm like, well, if that's where he's at, or maybe that's his comfort zone to discuss with me, you know, I understand. But he told me he was looking to fall in love, you know, and that he really wants this person, but he's just at a point, he was the same age as me, that he's ready to give up, you know? And I'm like, I can understand that, you know, but I'm not doing that because what if the next one was my yes? Yeah. I'm not settling, you know, I'm 46 years old and I'm just like, I know what I want and he's out there somewhere and, you know, I'm going to find him. He's going to find me. And until it happens, I'm just focusing on my life, my friends, my family, career, you know, and getting ready for it, you know? And so we set up a date and we went out. We went for tacos to our taco place, right?
Which, first of all, bitch, didn't we agree that we weren't going to bring anybody else there? That is the kiss of death.
It is, and we're not taking anyone there anymore, let me tell you.
The only person we can take there is each other or family.
Exactly, right? Okay, so we go. All right. Now, we had agreed it was going to be a friend date, so we were both going to pay for ourselves. His suggestion, because he says that so many women have been taking advantage of him, they only want free meals and drinks, whatever. They're after him for that, you know. And he's telling me he drives a Cadillac and all this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay.
Did you see the caddy?
I did. That's what he brought. But I was just like, okay. Like, money does not do it for me. Look, I am impressed that you work so hard or that you have brought yourself to a point in life that you're really proud of. And, you know, if it makes you feel good to drive a certain thing, to live a certain way, to be able to take care of your family, your friends, that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. And, you know, kudos to you. And I mean, really. Yeah. And if you're happy in life, that's fabulous. But I'm like, money is not a motivator for me. It's not an attraction for me. You know, I want you to be able to take care of yourself, you know, take care of your people in your life if you need to, like all that kind of stuff. And be at a place where, you know, like, you got your shit together. Right. You know what I mean? But there's not a certain amount of money someone needs to make or anything like that. There's not a certain job. I'm like, love is what motivates me in everything, you know, even in my job. Right. You know, being able to take care of my family, you know, friends, whatever, and not have to worry, you know, love for someone else and doing something for someone else, for someone doing something. Like, love is a motivator in my life. Right. For some people, it's money. Some people, it's power. Some people, it's sex. Like, whatever your thing is fine, you know? Like, for me, that's what it is for me. So, like, I don't wear any jewelry, you know? I'm like, and if I did, it's like beads or like hippie stuff or, you know, something like that. But I'm like, you know, I'm attracted to the person. Right. You know? And we all have things we're attracted to.
And not what he can do for you.
No.
Right.
So, we get out of the car. Now, his you know, profile had said 5'8". Then he told me on the phone he's 5'7", right? Okay. And then when I meet him, he don't even come up to my shoulder. And I'm 5'8". He's maybe 5'3". Stand up real quick.
Okay, hold on.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm 5 foot even. I come up to your shoulder.
Yeah. So that bitch was 5 foot. He was about your height, right?
You were giving him 3 inches.
Yeah, I was. I didn't think so. Because Trinity's 5'4". And I was like, oh, he's not as tall as you. So he was like 5 foot. And he's like, I'm 5'7". I'm like, okay, what ruler are you using? But...
That's not the issue.
It's not the issue because I think it is hot as hell when the shorter guys with a tall woman. And let her put on some heels too. And he's holding her hand walking down the street. Like, it's hot. I don't care who it is, right? And that confidence, you know? And then also, he was at least 50 pounds heavier, at least, than he was in his pictures. I like a big guy too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a type, I don't think. You
Yeah.
know? I'm like, I like everything. I appreciate everybody. It's who you are that really does it for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, I like the sweet, soft, just gentle type. You're emotional like Pisces. I know. I know. I'm like, I like your strong, like, Scorpios, I'm like, girl, I love a flighty, fucking wild Sagittarius, I'm like, I love another Leo like me.
Oh, you love a Leo.
Girl, I taste the rainbow, every age, size. As long as you're, adult.
Yes.
Let's make sure.
Yes.
I'm like, I prefer you to be in your 30s, but we have,
we've
went out with a few close to 30s, okay? And, it's like just being who you are, being yourself.
Right.
I'm like, I also like really, really tall guys. Like, whatever, So none of that was a problem to me.
It was just the fact that
you lied.
You lied, yeah.
But I can understand that too. A lot of people probably would not go out with someone.
Well, I know that that's a thing. Like, some women even put on their profile, like, will not date anybody shorter than...
Girl, I have a ton of friends.
Huh?
Give you the eyeballs. Who are barely 5 foot, who only want men over 6 foot tall.
No. Yeah. Everyone is taller than me, okay?
I know, but I'm like, dude... The shorter guys are made for you short women. And y'all are like, I'm like, that's fine. I'll scoop them up. But anyway.
No, I do generally. But it's not just me. They date me too.
I know. They want a little pocket puppy.
They want to be putting in my pocket.
Yes.
No, but I honestly do tend to date really tall men.
Okay, so I think it's the same thing.
What?
So shorter men love to date me because they're right at booby height,
uh-huh.
right? On a really tall guy, you're right at dick height.
You're not wrong.
Right? Both of y'all like things to suck on. I'm just saying.
I like when I hug someone, I can just like fold into their chest like a little baby.
Their chest? 5 foot ain't hugging into 6'5"'s chest. You might be tummy level. Bend your head, you're in another level.
You want me to have a hunchback?
Yeah, like, and just push your head down a little bit. Anyway, that's okay. I just hugged mine in, and they're like, Remember, we literally talked about how we've been motorboated before. You can go back and find that episode. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So I digress. So. And I know he's looking for the shock on my face. And I'm not. I already knew you're shorter than me, I'm like, I like your personality.
Yeah.
So we get in the car and we're driving through, because a little taco shop. It's like a building you got to drive through.
Yeah. There's like 2 tables you can sit at.
Yeah. And there's like a whole covered area, whatever. But so you have to drive through. So we drive through, right? And we get to the window, right? And we're ordering and stuff. Now we've agreed, because he wanted to be Dutch. And so I was like, all right, so I'm getting my money out. Which I was like, I was going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because he drove all the way to see me. He lived like an hour from here. So he's like, no. I got this. And I'm like, what? I thought you said friend date. Like, and he's like, no. It's definitely a real date. And I'm like, oh, okay. I like that. Okay. So he pays whatever, right? And so then we drive around to the window, get the food. I was like, because he was like, it's hot outside. And I was like, well, we can eat in the car, your car or my car. He's definitely OCD, like everything's spotless. He's lived alone his whole life too. He did have a child, she's an adult, whatever, but he's lived alone throughout his life. And so he's like, oh, we're not eating the car. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, there's tables, we can sit out there if you want. So we sat out there and ate and we talked, right? It was definitely, you could feel his guards up a little bit.
Right.
But, I mean, overall, it was nice, right? And so he's like, what do you want to do next? And he was supposed to be going to his friend's house and meeting some people and stuff. And so, which is like an hour from here, And I was like, oh, I didn't know if you had time, if we were just going to lunch. And he's like, no, I'd like to hang out for a little bit longer. I'm like, cool. I'm ready for a drink. Now, it is my day off. And those are sparingly.
Yes.
And I work like over 60 hours a week. And we were like, it's my day off. I want a margarita, right? You understand, I've only been incapacitated where I would say I couldn't drink, which literally could be 2 drinks because I don't drink that often, right? 5 times in my life. We'll go to 6, right? And I remember every single time, and it was planned. And I'm like, I'm at a friend's house, whatever,
right.
you know, like with my girlfriends. So it's not like I'm like going crazy and stuff, right? And he goes, "Oh, you need a drink?" And I was like, "No, I don't need a drink. I want to drink."
Yes.
It's a hot summer day. I'm having a good time. I'm going to have a margarita at my favorite place. If you would like to join me, you're welcome. If you would not, have a great time. I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm going to do what I want. And that was literally what I said.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll join you for a drink." And I was like, "Okay." I could tell immediately he does not like that I am that independent and I'm going to do what I'm going to do and say what I'm going to say. You
right.
know? Because he kept saying every time I was saying something that I was going to do or something I liked, whatever. And he's like, "Well, that's okay." Like, he's giving me approval.
For permission.
Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, you can do that." Like, blah. And I was like, "Bitch, I just met your ass." Like, he's trying real hard to knock me, right? I say this because we get to the next restaurant, right? You know.
Did you drive separately?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. We met at the first place, and then we drove separately to go to Pancho Villa. Because they have a gorgeous outside patio with a cover awning and, like, a bunch of tables and like, fans out there and stuff, ceiling fans. And, girl, it was so nice and cool over there. Like, it was so nice outside. And I got my margarita, a strawberry mango with the sugar.
Yes, girl.
Yes. And so, Nicole and the sugar. So, so we're sitting over there, right? And he got a beer, and we're drinking and stuff. And I just got one, you know? But just that first taste, like, it was nice and cold, and it's been hot outside, and we're sitting there. And he was like, even he said, "It's nice and cool over here." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. We done moved into Kentucky."
Yeah.
Which is... like right down the street.
Right down the street.
We got the border. I took you across state lines. Right? So we're talking and stuff. And the whole conversation is all about stuff. About how much money he makes. Or how much stuff he has. Or how much jewelry. Or he's going on tour with this person. And they're doing this. And just da-da-da-da. And he wants an RV. And he wants like the biggest and baddest. And showing me pictures and everything. And I'm like, okay, but what about you? Like you. That's great. That's wonderful. I think that's awesome, you know? But what about you, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, you seem a little guarded. Like, is everything okay? Because we've talked a lot, you know? So I'm like, where's the person I've been talking to on the phone, you know? I'm like, what's going on? He's like, nothing. I'm like, well, what are you thinking about? You know, like, we can talk. And he's like, nothing. I'm like, okay. So I let it go for a little bit. We talked a little more. And then I was like, okay. What's really going on, you know? And I'm like, just talk to me. Like, what are you really thinking? Like, go ahead. I meant emotionally, you know, like, how are you feeling? Does it feel different in person? You know, are you thinking like you need to get going on the road? Are you just not feeling it? Like, it doesn't feel the same, you know?
Which is fine.
But like, I can definitely feel there's something. So, you know, what is it? And he's leaned back or whatever, right? And he's like, well, you know, some people just don't look like their pictures.
Oh!
And I said, excuse me? And he was like, yeah. Come on. You definitely use filters in your pictures.
Woo!
Now, I started busting up laughing and couldn't stop laughing. Like, choking. Like, I was rolling, could not laughing. Could not stop, right? I'm serious, girl. Like, whoa. Bending over laughing, right? And he's like, I'm just being honest. I'm just saying. And I was like, you are such a little troll.
You said that out to him?
No, I did not say it to him because I'm not going to insult anybody else or hurt anybody else or drop to their level or anything else. And hurt people. Right. And I know this is coming from some place within him. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I have not done anything to invite this. And if we want to talk about my pictures, right? Almost all of my pictures, I don't have any makeup on. Yep. In my pictures. They're all like in the moment pictures, right? My main profile picture was when I helped Nicole move, you know, and pack up her U-Haul and everything else. And I had like no makeup on, took my hair down, put on some like lip gloss, whatever. And I was like, I'm feeling good, girl.
At most, when Nicole does that, like, she literally has on face oil. Like, literally.
Yeah, I use like vitamin E oil and stuff. And I'll have that on. You know, most people put like moisturizer or lotion on, whatever. Like, I'll have that on. And like a dressed up picture of me is vitamin E oil, lip gloss, and then mascara. Like that's it. And I just take my hair naturally down, let it dry, like whatever, right? Because I always pull it up in a bun. Most women do that, especially if you got long hair or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, you know. And then I'll usually have at least one dressed up picture because I'm like, my profile, I'm like, I like to get dirty, but I clean up well, right? It's a joke and it's playful, but I actually do like to go tubing and mudding and like out in nature and everything else, you know, and I don't wear makeup a lot and my hair's up in a bun, jeans, t-shirt, boots, flip-flops, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also, like to get dolled up and dressed up and like it makes it a big thing and like do the whole makeup, hair, dress, everything, heels, right?
Right.
But so I'm like, I want you to see that I'm like a normal person and what I really look like because I don't want us to set each other up like for failure.
Right.
And I also don't want to waste either one of our times. Whoever I'm talking to or meeting, right? And I always put that I'm 46 years old on there. I don't lie about my age, right?
Right.
And nothing to anybody else. I'm just saying for me. So I want to make sure that you're seeing the real me. I'm still looking cute, but almost at my like worst, like my regular. I got pictures of me dressed up in a unicorn onesie with you and me out, and I have no makeup on then. I think I was sick or whatever,
Yeah.
or allergies or whatever.
I'm painted green.
Yes, yeah. That's a picture on there, right? I'm like, with a tail and everything. And it ain't no sexy picture. It's a fun, silly picture. It's like, yeah. So
we should post that picture.
I know we should. We got a couple of those. Yeah. So I'm like, it's just fun stuff, right? And I'm like, and I'm talking about being a nerd, like I'm a comic book geek, everything else, right? Here's the funny thing. Me and him actually went to high school with each other in South Florida, Hollywood Hills High, where I was a Spartanette. I was in the drill team. I was in the band, dance team, stuff like that, back in the 90s.
Wait, were you doing the dances you do now?
No, I was... You mean my white girl dance?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing them back then, too, but I actually could dance. Like, I did drill team and you're spinning the rifles and the flags.
I would love to see a routine. Can we please
get you... Oh, girl, there are videos.
Can I
There are videos.
Can you do them now?
Can I do them now? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can spin a rifle and a flag and everything.
Oh, my gosh, can we get you a rifle and a flag? I can't wait to see this.
We will do it. I can do all that.
I want a whole
I got pictures, too, from back then. Yeah.
Oh, bitch.
So, the funny thing, though, is... So, we're talking about it, right? He was actually 1 year behind me, right? We're the same age, but he was 1 year behind me, right? His birthday's after mine a little bit. So, we knew the same people, the same friends, like everything, like a handful of people. But I never remembered him. Yeah. Right? And so, it was just funny because I'm like, okay, I had to pass you in hallways, everything. It was a large school, like South Florida. And we ran with the same, like, type of people. So, I had to have seen you. And... my soul, body, mind, heart said no back then. So I didn't even acknowledge you. I don't remember you at all. Then 9 months ago, I meet you 30 years later, and it's still a no. But we couldn't accept that it was a no. We just had to see something in this person. And so we go out with him, and then we're like, hell to the fucking no.
Hell to the fucking no.
And you know what? Normally I would be like, this is not working. I'm out of here. You've done insulted me, everything. I said, you know what? You need a timeout to myself. You're going to sit here and listen to all this so you can really sink in to listen to yourself. Yeah. And it's not an insult to him. Like, he was definitely being rude. The term is gaslighting me, and I think he tries to make it where it's a dominant, submissive thing, but it wasn't. Yeah,
he told you, he was like, you look older than your pictures. Yeah. I think he almost said, like, you're definitely fatter than in your pictures. Like, he was definitely implying, like, every possible thing he could to, like, tear you down negatively.
He became very angry when I was laughing. And I was like, no, that's not true. Yeah. Because I was like, I purposely, not trying to look bad, but try and look as this is me. I have never used a filter or anything else. I don't care if everybody else does. For me, I'm like, I want to be honest. And every single person I've went out with, which there's been hundreds of dates. In 2.5 years, we've had a lot of first dates, right? And, met some really nice people. But that has never been said to me before, right? Yeah. Everyone always says to me, including younger guys I go out with, like the guy that I recently went out with, who was 30. Anyway, his eyes literally popped out of his head. Like, when I saw him, that's the reaction every woman wants, right? And he was like, oh, girl, He's like, you don't even have to put pictures up online. You should just be like, you need to see me in person, He's like, one's enough. He's like, you are absolutely gorgeous, and just so sweet and kind and everything. I was wearing the date outfit, though, because want the black ripped up pants and the like.
And the shirt.
The
The one I love you
yes,
in.
the orange little velvet top that just makes the girls sing, you know. Anyway, and the leopard heels. Like, okay, but anyway, I digress. So
you was looking good.
I was looking good. This day, with this date, I wore the same outfit, right? But instead, I knew he was shorter than me, right? And so I was like, I'll wear my black suede boots.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
The little elf boots that go over the knee.
Yeah, girl, you were hot. It was hot that day.
I know, but I was feeling good and looking hot too, right? Because I was like, I didn't want to even emphasize more how much taller than I was to him. And I'm like, it's a first date. That's like later, you know? And so I was looking, girl, had the makeup done.
I know.
Had the hair done. Like, I sent you a picture.
Girl, I know you was looking good.
Oh my God, I was feeling good, looking good, everything. And I was like, dude, I look better than I've looked like in a while. Like I really put effort into this. And one of it was for myself.
Yeah,
because I work where I never wear makeup, anything else. And so I was like, it's a day off. I'm having a drink, some tacos, girl day. Like I'm just going to feel good, you know? And even if he didn't want to go get margaritas, I was going to go get a margarita by myself.
Yeah.
And like read a book, just enjoy the day, right? And so I was like, I'm going to feel good. So I did it. And I was looking good too, which was the perfect moment for somebody like that to talk to me that way. Because I was like, oh, you out of your damn mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Even at work when I have no makeup on, people always freak out about how old I am because they all thought I was in my 30s, you know? But anyway, so he became very angry that I didn't do that and was just trying to go in for it. Like, oh, you're just, you know. And he's like, but I'm not saying no. Like, I can work with this.
Oh, I can work.
It was total gaslighting. Like, he felt like I was going to reject him is what I'm assuming. And so he rejected me first. But he was trying to, like, make me feel bad. So then, you know, it would be like, oh, my God, you actually like me?
He was literally negging you.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I said 2 years ago, it might have affected me. It probably would have affected me. Not to where I would have been like, oh, make it right, daddy. But I would have been like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Whatever. A year ago, it would have pissed me off and I would have felt the need to tell him off.
To lash out.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I totally physically, emotionally, everything see that it is his issue, not mine. He's literally talking to himself when he was talking to me.
Yes.
You know, because everything that he was saying was true about him, not me. Right? And it was just like an out of body almost experience, like seeing how people relate and act. You know? And then he's telling me...
Girl, what a positive experience.
It really was a positive experience. It really was. Really, really was. It really was a gift. Because then he was telling me about how he can't stand when women make a scene and scream and yell and stuff after he's been a total jackass to me, right? And he's like, I'll just walk out. And I was like, guess I'm paying the bill. I was already kind of going to do that just because you paid lunch, you know? But I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you're not going to get that response from me.
So I would just like to pause. So... does he also insult these women and basically tell them that they don't look like their pictures, they're too old, and just bring them down to their base level?
I don't know that he does that, but I'm sure that he does something to that effect.
And then they're like, you're not going to talk to me that way? Like, who do you think you are? Like, but then they're the one making the scene. I'm just wondering. Like,
no, that's what I think. He was specifically talking about his child's mother, which that would have been over 20 years ago, right? And how she would always make a scene and yell and scream out in public in front of other people, and just no one's going to humiliate him like that and everything else. I don't want to tell too much of his business, but it was definitely a trauma thing too for me when younger, right? And I'm just like, you're trying to get a rise out of me, and then you can storm off and go, what, tell your friends just how horrible I was? Which everyone has a right to tell themselves or tell anybody else any story they want about their life, any way that they see the situation. I'm taking from that. He can tell anyone whatever he wants, right? Because that's his life, his dialogue, everything else. And we're all allowed to feel our feelings. However, he might interpret totally different, right? But this is what happened, okay? And I'm just like, I'm not going to tear you down trying to make myself feel better because I love me. I feel good about me, everybody I'm with, and you know. And I'm like, and that doesn't affect me. And it's so, this is like class. This is so obvious what's going on. Yeah. You know? And I really felt bad for him. I did. I felt bad for people, for him and for people. And I was actually looking forward to it, you know, like going out and stuff like that. But, you know, whatever happened. You know, it is what it is. But I needed to stay. And I stayed for like 2 hours. from the time he made that comment, right?
Whoa, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, the lunch part was like an hour, and then I stayed for like 2 hours and sit there, and I was like, you need to sit with this. Not as a punishment, but as just really completing this moment and getting it out of your system of not trusting yourself and just going with your gut and listening to yourself and how does it feel? You know? I'm like, you need this. And you kind of need to give him this moment where he can see, not everybody's going to act like that. Like, you're the one putting this out there. Like, I legitimately was interested. No way now. Now it's not just a no, it's a hell motherfucking no. But I'm not going to be rude back.
No.
You know, like
that's not in your character.
Yeah,
and like it's almost it's validating for you because you have grown so much. Like you said, you would have lashed out a year ago. You would have internalized it 2 years ago, and just to think about how far you've come, you know, in really such a short amount of time when you think about it. Like 2 years really is just like blink of an eye, in the grand scheme of things, right? But it also lets you know your character. Like, I'm not going to let someone who is hurting take me outside of myself. Like, you are a compassionate person who really is out there trying to, you know, help someone listen to people, you know, recognize that other people have things that they're dealing with too. And if you can give something to some person and show him that not everybody is going to react like that. No, I think that was, you know, says a lot about you.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. And I'm just like, it's not nice to not be nice.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to treat somebody like that, you know? And just because someone responds to you in a negative way, you know, or is rude, whatever, it doesn't mean you have to put up with it. You know, most people probably wouldn't have stayed in that situation.
Right.
Most people probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't anything that affected me. It's not because I'm all that. I mean, I am.
Yeah.
But
you also recognize that it literally wasn't about you.
It had nothing to do with me. It was his pain. It had nothing to do with me. And so I'm like, I'm not going to act like that. I feel like this could be a learning thing for both of us.
Yeah.
And we've been brought together for some reason. So let's just finish this out. My favorite part was, right? Now, I've been kind, considerate the whole time, listening, whatever, is when he said, well, I need to go. It's time for me to go. You know, and it was just kind of like he just didn't know what to do because I'm not reacting the way he expected. And he kept on and I still didn't. It's like the pound dog calm down.
Yeah.
You know, or the chihuahua, whatever you want to say. And now it's tired. It's worn itself out. And you didn't, you know, beat it, lash it, scream at it.
And it was like,
and it's like, now I'm ready for a nap. Like, I don't know what to do now. But I've obviously ruined this. So... maybe, you know, be a moment for him in a positive way where he's like, okay, maybe I should just be honest or just not, you know, kick someone because I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Or maybe he'll just keep being the same person. I don't know. But he says to me, we'll talk later. I'll call you. It was definitely a brush off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let you have that troll.
You're right.
Right? And I'm not saying troll because of him being short and everything else. It was his attitude. And like how people online don't even know you.
Yeah, but they insult you.
And they'll be attacking you and saying everything else. And you're just having a happy day. Whether you're a regular person, like on Facebook, Instagram, or whether you're a famous person. They're just coming at you because they're unhappy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know? He did kind of remind me of a troll. But anyway, that would be under a bridge. But
well, it may have a double meaning. But his essence was very troll-like.
And he had said, too, that he goes out and hangs out with his friends and stuff. But... you know, during the pandemic, it had been really hard for him, and he had been really depressed. He had shared that with me, and he, you know, lost a lot. Yeah. And so he's kind of coming out of that trauma, you know, which I could see. But I think it had a lot more to do with a lot of other things.
Oh,
but that's his business, his life. This was my experience, and for me, it was a no. No, thank you. Next.
Keep pushing.
Next, yes. So then we went to hang out with our other bestie, the Viking.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and oh my God, he's so awesome. Because he texted me and he was like, how's the date? And I was like, ugh. And he was like, ooh, that good, huh? I was like, are you home? He's like, yeah, swing by. So I came by and I went over there and we were standing outside and talking. He's like, well, tell me what happened. So I told him what happened. He was like, oh, hell no, girl. He's like, you are absolutely gorgeous, like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, your pictures are you. Like, it's totally you, you know? He's like, if anything, you look better in person. And I'm like,
I know. Thank you.
Thank you. And then he was like, and look at you today, girl. You're looking cute. Like, look at that. The hair, the makeup, the clothes, the shoes, love it. And I'm just like, oh, I know. Thank you.
And so you didn't need to be validated by him saying that. But it's also one of the things you're like, girl, I know.
Right?
Like, I know.
Right? Well, you was at work, so.
Well, yeah, you know.
No, but it was really sweet.
No,
and that's the way me and him are. Like, we talk each other up. We talk about, you know, people we date, whatever. And so it was just fun. Which is funny because I met him on Tinder. But from first date, we were like, we're friends, you know. But, yeah, everybody needs good friends. So I'm like, we keep on stepping. Obviously, we're still single.
Yeah. No, you guys are together now after that date, right?
No more trauma.
Yeah,
no more trauma. Not that you can't have went through trauma.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be trauma in my life.
Girl. You're going to add to it, not take away.
Amen, sister. We all have a moment. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be there for each other. But it needs to feel good.
Yeah.
Not bad. You know? And so now we're like, okay. Next. Because we going to find you, boo. I know you out there. We going to find you. Come find me.
I'm hunting for you.
Right? Love you long time. So, yeah, everything's good.
I got to play a song for you. It's a Kesha song.
Cool. Right? We already have a new date on Sunday.
I love that.
Right? It's actually someone we went out with a couple weeks ago. We had one date. It was fabulous.
Are you going to bring him by my second job?
I might.
You should.
I know. We'll see. I might be hanging out with a Viking too. And then you and me are going to go see
Black Widow.
The new one. So excited. Whenever we get off work. So it's going to be great. And it's my next day off. So party. So yeah. So anyway. Don't let nobody steal your joy.
That's right.
Listen to yourself.
Uh-huh.
If you get a feeling of no, it's a no. Job, relationship, lover, that dress, them shoes, them hair, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, like just trust yourself, enjoy the moment, and don't let nobody bring you down. Don't let nobody bring you out of yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. And rule the world, boo-boo. So
who runs the world? Girls. Okay.
Right? And just don't hurt anybody if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, just let someone, if they being rude, crude, whatever, you know, we all see it out in the world. And sadly, some of us experience it in the home. You know, if you possibly can, just put that smile on, step away, don't let nobody bring you out of who you are or bring you down to their level, and just keep it on. And if it does happen and you have a moment, forgive yourself, you know, pray for that person, send them light, or at least, you know, don't do nothing bad. And go on about your day. Don't let anybody do nothing to you. Restart that day and go on.
Yep.
So.
Amen.
Right?
Beautiful note to end on.
Hallelujah. All right.
So, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And, yeah. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.